China's alarming rate of population growth gave governing authorities a tough time. Some wise thinkers came out with some brilliant sounding solutions to control the population, implementing the one child policy. Every action has a reaction, and every decision has a consequence. Soon, a disastrous scenario across the country started to take shape. The country was heading to witness the worst catastrophe ever. After the law was introduced, women were forcefully aborted. Mothers with single baby were forced to operate and sterilize. Authorities dragged mothers from their houses to abort and sterilize them. Nearly 400 million fetuses were killed during the entire 35 years to abide the law. In many cases, the babies were still alive even after the abortion. The government started to reward their own workers based on the number of the babies aborted. The Chinese government deliberately and consistently indoctrinated the message of one-child policy by various means like advertising shows, operas, hoardings, banners, print medias, radios and televisions. They influenced and threatened the media, newspapers and whistleblowers across China. The screaming, weeping, pleading voices of women undergoing forced abortion is one of the most inhumane and brutal episodes that any country has ever witnessed. As the one-child policy began to take its pace, in the process, people began to discard and disown the female fetuses because everyone preferred the sole child to be a male. Abandoned female babies either died of hunger or animal bites, or they were just picked up by human traffickers. Like the world had rag pickers, China had baby pickers. The abandoned babies were peddled to orphanages for approximate $200. In cases where the mothers gave birth to twins or triplets, preposterous as it may sound, the government officials took the other child away to a straight-run orphanage. The opportunist Chinese Communist Party declared these abandoned and abducted babies as orphans and started selling them across the world as part of paid adoptions. The book The Orphans of Shao explains how children in China were kidnapped, left abandoned and sold to the West at $10,000 to $25,000. Both the American and the Chinese families were cheated. The one-child policy had both psychological and behavioral impact on Chinese national. From 1979 till 2015, that is 35 years, Chinese were only allowed to give birth to single child. The Cobra effect on the one-child policy. Demographic crisis. When China will reach 2040, the Chinese will have the most absurd senior to junior ratio in the world. A single teenage child will have several dependent seniors in their family. During 2040, retired population who will wait for the pension will be more compared to the earning and the spending group. As sons were generally preferred over daughters, the overall sex ratio in China became skewed towards male. The male-female population has tremendous variation. For every 125 male, they have 100 female, which is astonishingly bad number in the whole planet. China currently has 400 million excess male population. Can you imagine?
For any army to survive, will and courage plays a pivotal role. The one-child policy has actually damaged the inner will of the pampered Chinese army men. The parents have a fear of losing the sole child, and likewise similar fear arises in the army men. The Chinese Communist Party is very well aware of this ground reality, and as a mitigation, they are coming up with different warfare techniques like the bio-warfare techniques and the IT hacking warfare techniques. The current Chinese aggression is not because of the strength they possess, but paradoxically, it is because to hide their weakness.
So, friends, when we look back at 1979, what do we learn?